Specialty tourbillons, that's the subject of our visit to the Grand Complication Workshop of Jaeger-LeCoultre in Le Sentier in the Vallée de Joux. It's here where the 4 different generations of tourbillons unique to Jaeger-LeCoultre are made. The Gyrotourbillon 1, 2, and 3. Each one is different from the others. Each one has a different form of spiral. And the Spherotourbillon. We have 2 guides with us today, Christian Laurent, who is the head of the workshop, and also Stéphane Belmont. Christian, logically, we should start with the Giro 1.
This is very special. The first stage is to regulate the balance, which is a standard balance. We have a working movement, which is not beautiful, but it serves to allow regulating the balance.
What's next?
The balance is in the first tourbillon. Then he fits on the second tourbillon and regulates the rotation of the cage and verifies that it is well balanced and that the output is correct.
To assemble the cage, how many days?
To assemble the cage with the precision required takes a week. The cage is aluminum, and it is very light and demands finesse and a delicate touch of the watchmaker to regulate it.
Our second stop is the Giro 2. That's to say, this is in the reverso case.
Exactly.
Donc elle a réglé sa cage de Gyrotourbillon.
She has regulated the cage of the tourbillon.
Sur le mouvement. Et à partir de maintenant, elle va le mettre en fonction.
From this point, she's going to place it in the movement.
De Giro 2. Donc il est associé à un spiral cylindrique.
It has a cylindrical spiral that fundamentally has a lot of importance because it is so balanced that it gives superior performance to the watch.
There's another great specialty of Jaeger, which is the Spherotourbillon.
Alors bien sûr, le Spherotourbillon est différent.
Of course, the Sphero is different.
C'est un concept tout à fait différent.
A totally different concept.
Une idée de la précision.
But it has the same idea of precision.
Un tourbillon qui va tourner.
It is a tourbillon that rotates but does so spherically, like a top.
Il va avoir une fonction
always inclined.
Incline 20 degrees.
Yes, 20 degrees, so that it can work in a horizontal position with the same altitude.
Là, elle est en train de
Here she is assembling the escapement, which is very demanding work. She's on the cage now and will add the balance with its cylindrical spiral afterwards. There's a specialist who works on the spiral. There's a lot of work that goes into the spiral to make it function, to have it balanced. It takes a lot of finesse.
Stéphane, we're lucky that we're able to bring out the flagship novelty from this year in Geneva, which is the Master Grand Tradition Gyrotourbillon 3.
That's correct.
The 3rd generation of the watch. Explain to us the features of this new watch from Jaeger.
It features a new Gyrotourbillon, which differs from the previous versions by being a flying Gyrotourbillon, so there's no more bridge on top of the tourbillon. It's also the first Hybris Mechanica and probably the first Grand Complication with an instantaneous digital chronograph. And in addition to this, there's a new hairspring, which is a three-dimensional hairspring, which has a spherical shape, which is even more difficult to perform than the cylindrical hairspring of the Gyrotourbillon 2.
There's something special about the way the minute function is implemented on the chronograph, isn't there?
So for that, we designed a new chronograph which has a second barrel, which powers a second gear train with a second escapement. And that's the second of the chronograph that will release the escapement of the digital display in order to have a very instantaneous and very precise jumping of this digital display.
We've come to a different spot in the workshops of Jaeger-LeCoultre where a rare specialty is practiced, which is the fabrication of these spirals, which come in different forms, which is to say the cylindrical spiral used in the Gyrotourbillon 2 and the spherical spiral, which is used in the Gyrotourbillon 3. And with me is the specialist at Jaeger-LeCoultre, Muriel Job, who will explain the difference between the two and the extraordinary amount of work that goes into creating these spirals.
The cylindrical spiral very simply has the shape of a cylinder. Each band has the same diameter and they are perfectly placed one above the other. For the other, we have the form of a sphere, like a bowl or a Chinese lantern. Each band is the same size as the opposite corresponding level. It really has a spherical form, so when I incline it, you can really see how the levels compare to each other and how it narrows at the ends. What I do is I take the spiral cut in the right size and do small adjustments with it in my holder. I place it squarely in the holder and I verify it in my projector machine to see the small adjustments I must make. So the projector enlarges it 50 times, and I must follow this form. You can see that the sphere is enlarged, and I can follow these lines. For the assembly of the balance and adjustments of the spiral, it takes approximately 4 days of work.